Hello guys, I'm going to show you more than 6 titles of fragrances you should not blind buy, starting with Hermes H24, and then we'll go into some brand new Azzaro Wanted Tonics. I'm not telling you anything about the video, but should you or should you not blind buy? This will be answered in this video alongside some more cool titles like Spice Bombs, Flanker, Night Vision. The question is, should you or should you not blind buy? This fragrance simply has a few notes. Also consider it has metallic notes alongside narcissus and some green notes at top. So you're thinking of green and yellow metal musk. Very popular in European countries like France. Hermes is a French company. Now if your girlfriend shops at the Hermes store and she gives you that Boken, she makes you buy the Boken bag, or maybe she just has a credit card there, or maybe she just shops there and picked you up this bottle and gave it to you, by all means spray it. I'm not telling you not to love it. It's a decent, well-built fragrance that's above average in longevity and projection. It's green and soapy, but for the price of $105, I would not recommend you blind buy it. It is nothing else on the market like it. It does only have very minimalistic notes, like the top note of Clary Sage, but so does Azzaro Amber. Azzaro Amber is 35 bucks. It starts off with Clary Sage and 2 other notes only as well. It's a little different than this. That being said, should you blind buy it? I would personally recommend you not blind buy it unless it was $40 to $50. I think it would be worth it at that price, but right now the prices are holding at $80. Now Christine Nagel did make this Hermes H24. She's the perfumer. She also made Hermes Eau Intense Vetiver. Are you familiar with that? There's another fragrance. It's a flanker of the very famous Thierry de Hermes. Now when this came out back in the early 2000s, I latched on fast to this fragrance and I loved it, and I still wear it. Not every day. You can see I don't barely dented it now, but back then I emptied out a couple bottles. So should you buy this one or this one? Pretty much in the fragrance world game, always buy the initial fragrance, and except for Armani Code, buy Armani Code Absolute. But everyone still, there's some hardcore Armani Code lovers, but basically you don't need to buy this Eau Intense Vetiver. You don't need to buy Thierry D Très Fresh, and you just buy Thierry D, the regular eau de toilette. They also make a pure parfum, and that one would be on your personal subjective mind. It's a little bit tweaker. It's a little bit more strong than this. If you wanted a real good green, clean, soapy fragrance, for if you can find this one for 35 bucks, get Match Point. It's above average, but yeah, I found this for 35, 38 bucks, and it's worth it more than this. And it's Lacoste. It's a nice brand name. I believe they've got a brand name that can demand even more if they wanted to for that fragrance. But really one of the best soapy fragrances I can find is called Prada L'Homme, and that's the easiest blind buy worthy. Yes, I would recommend you blind buy this fragrance. Let's go on to Azzaro's Wanted Tonic, which has 3 simple note compositions. And remember, I told you Azzaro has a whole entire line of fragrances that uses 3 simple note compositions. You know, they have wild mint, they have the amber fever, and 3 or 4 other ones. Now this fragrance is simple lime, ginger, and patchouli. Lime, ginger, patchouli. It's nothing groundbreaking. It's the same. It's right now it's holding at $40, $45 for this bottle. I would far recommend you buy the Azzaro Wanted by Night or the Azzaro Wanted Regular. Now here's the deal. Azzaro Wanted and Wanted by Night are like, bow down to those. They're badass fragrances that smell sexy, boozy, leathery, and they last long and they project, and those are 1000% blind buy worthy. And then they come out and make this tonic water thing, and I just want to throw it into the grass because it doesn't match up to their kick butt fragrance line called the Azzaro Wanted line. I heard they made a new one called Azzaro You're Wanted or something like that. I never tried that one. I'm sure that's back to normal. Like fragrances like Yves Saint Laurent Y, the whole line is pretty cool anyway. They got the Eau de Toilette, the Eau de Parfum, the Le Parfum, the Live, the Fresh. Those are cool. The flankers are cool. But now they made this. It's not cool. It just doesn't work out. It's not like oh yeah, I gotta have it. That's not what this is, so do not blind buy this. Next fragrance I'd like to show you is called Invictus. Now this is a Hall of Fame fragrance, but when it first came out in 2013, I didn't even latch on. They sent me a bottle before it was even released in the USA. Back then I wasn't even doing these YouTube videos. Speaking of YouTube videos, we're gonna shout out the viewer of the day, John blah blah blah. That's his name. He's always commenting below. Why am I shouting out to this guy? Because I've noticed his comments from 6-7 months ago. I could tell he was either brand new to fragrances or brand new to YouTube, one or the other, the combination. Now his comments are more thought out. I'll bet you, John blah blah, that you're watching tons of YouTube fragrance videos, and I'll bet you also that you probably bought a nice amount. Your collection is upwards of more than 12 bottles since watching YouTube fragrance videos. Comment down below, John blah blah, and everyone else, say hi to him. Let's get a conversation going about your favorite blind buy you could recommend to someone. Now Invictus, sure, it's absolutely a blind buy worthy fragrance, but it's just old now, and just something that's kind of under the radar, that's better, more intense, more fresh, and less sweet. It's called Invictus Intense. That'd be better than this one that you can blind buy. Again, it's more fresh and less sweet. Here's a cool fragrance company. It's called Parfums de Marly. If you ever considered blind buying one of their fragrances, actually, I'm going to tell you not to blind buy this, but I'll explain myself. Percival is probably the most pleasant fragrance that you could buy and just smell it and say, wow, that does smell good and clean and fresh. It's a very powerful version in my brain of something called Abercrombie Fitch Fierce, like a high-end, like a hamburger. You ever went to a high-end restaurant or some kind of hotel, calling it up at night? How much is your hamburger? $32, and it's all fancy and looks pretty, and it maybe has grass-fed beef or something, and they charge higher. Well, this is what this is, the version of Abercrombie Fitch Fierce, and it's pleasant and it's very mass appealing. But if you're going to buy a Parfums de Marly fragrance and dish out that kind of money, you got to go with Herod. That's the #1 best tobacco fragrance. Or you want something the strongest, most enormous scent trail you could ever imagine, the most powerful one, you get Carlisle. So if you're going to shell out the money for this, you're already down deep in fragrances. Forget the mass appeal and get one of the black bottles of Parfums de Marly. That's my tip for you. Next fragrance is called Spice Bomb Victor and Rolf Night Vision, and on their website they promote this as a booty call fragrance. I tell you what, I love this fragrance and I've gotten great responses from it. To blind buy it, which would mean I'm accepting the price value proposition, I would highly much more have you to blind buy something just called Spice Bomb Eau de Toilette. It's much more likable, much more well-rounded. It's a spicy fragrance, where this is pretty much unnecessary, and we're just gonna kick this to the side. Jean Paul Gaultier Ultra Male. Do you like fragrances with sweetness and mint in it? Then I would say yes, but the price on this is around $80 to $100. And recently on my emails, these guys kept telling me, dude, check out this fragrance called Tucci. He said Tucci. I said, what's a Tucci? I thought it said Touche. It looks like this bottle. It has the word Touche on it right there. And I looked up the notes, and it has nothing to do with this fragrance, but it kind of does smell like it, like 90%. Like even a guy in a cell phone store I was at, he said, I have this and it smells like this, and he doesn't know anything about fragrances. And I'm like, how does he? So I looked up the notes, and I look at a scientific chemistry view, and it has the same notes as Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male. If you know what that is, it's the lighter blue color, it's the Eau de Toilette, or this is Ultra Male Eau de Parfum, more intense. So if you want to try Touche, it's like 28 bucks. I'll put the links down below. Hey, talk to you later. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.